Hey guys on YouTube, it's Maddie17 back again. So as per my post and as per my promise, here we are with the brand new LG 12 kilogram model number WTL9-12B 12 kilo top loader. It is the latest range of LG top loaders to come out here in Australia at least. It was something that me and Shakira Lover Forever happened upon the other day when we were just doing a little trawl of appliance shops. I was aware that there was a new range of LG top loaders, but didn't know they looked quite like this. In my opinion, this just looks so sleek and modern and sexy, if you like. It's just, yeah. So this video is just going to be an introduction video and looking at the machine, looking at the cycles, the options. I won't run a wash on this video, sorry, because it'll just take too long otherwise, and you'll all be hanging on for that. So that'll be a separate video. This will be more of a talky video, so sorry if you don't like my dulcet tones, but whatever. So yeah, as I said before, it's a 12 kilo. Now this is the top of the line, or one of the top lines. Apparently there's a 14 kilo model, but we didn't see that in the shop. So for now, this is the top of the line that we could find. It's fully loaded with features. It's got a beautiful soft closed lid with a tinted glass lid. There's your model number and details, serial number, etc. Now, one thing that is slightly different about these models is the drum pattern has slightly changed. We've now got this sort of rounded bubble effect instead of how previous ones looked. On this model, also, it's got two pretty much full length of the tub lint filters, which are quite big. So they hold, they're going to collect a lot of lint between them. And also, because of the ridged effect, this adds a turbidity to the water from the edge. So because this is a turbo drum, so it will move back and forth as the wash goes, in conjunction with the agitator moving the opposite way. That seems to be the predominant wash action. It's mixed with all its other six motions like swing, rotating, wave force where it spins, and spins and wave forces over the top, which you'll all have seen. Alright, onto the controls. One thing you will notice when I press this button is the start tone has changed. Start tone has changed to this little jaunty dum 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 dum. But the end tone, the classic LG tune that we all know and love, still remains. So they haven't changed that. When we heard that initial startup tune, we were going to be like, oh, they've redesigned the end tone. It's going to be some new modern tune that we've never heard before. But no, it's the same tune. So they're sticking with tradition on that one. Beautiful. This machine is beautiful. Look at this display. The options light up dim, but if you tap them, then they light up brighter to show you that you've selected them, and it also tells you on the screen. Now there are a million cycles on this thing, it's crazy. A quick overview of the features though: it's got an AI wash option, which very much like Fisher & Paykel's and other machines, it will sense the load as well as the weight. So it will go through a sensing the weight phase to suss out how much is in the machine, and then it will go through a sensing load phase. So it will actually feel what type of material that you've got in there, and it will adapt everything to that. It will give you your standard cycle, auto water. It puts the wash at 23 minutes, 2 rinses with a high spin. Spin speed on this is 900 RPM, which is nice and fast, particularly for the 12 kilo tub. Alright, let's start at the very beginning. Cotton. Just wash normal laundry, just a standard cotton cycle. Doesn't do anything particularly amazing. It will just sense the water and it does all the different actions, wave force, swing, and all that. Deep wash. Apparently that's an intense wash cycle which uses additional water. We're going to test that one tonight, so we will be able to film that perhaps. An AI wash, which is, as I said before, it optimizes the wash for the laundry that it's in there. Duvet cycle, washes a blanket or bedclothes. Smart rinse. Smart rinse is a cycle all on its own. It's not a rinse only cycle. It is a full wash cycle, but it adapts the rinse according to how it feels. I'm not quite sure what's smart about it, but it's weird to have just an entire cycle called smart rinse. It sets the rinse at 3 automatically, so that's gonna rinse better automatically if it leaves it at 3. So yeah, we're going to test that cycle more with different loads and see what actually happens. We might add like extra detergent and stuff to see if it senses detergent turbidity or something. I'm not sure. Quick wash, which I don't think you can use so you can't use turbo wash, so I think it automatically does that. Eco cotton, less water and energy for a normally soiled cotton load. Delicates, sorry about the dogs. Stain care, removes stains with 40-degree water. One of the features of this machine, it's got an onboard heater, so it will boost that wash temperature to 40 degrees and soak, just to help that certain stains get removed. I tested the warm mix on this machine the other day, and it comes up at about 34 degrees, so it's not awful. It does actually blend a decent amount of hot in there to get a decent warm fill. But yeah, it comes in at about 34 by the time it's finished, depending on how hot it is outside and how hot our hot water system is at the time. Allergy care. Allergy care automatically selects the steam option. Now, on previous models, this has boosted the temperature to 60 using the onboard heater. Whether or not this does this, because it doesn't actually say in the description anything about a 60-degree wash option, it might just utilize steam. It might not heat to 60, but all remains to be seen on that one. So there's so many cycles. We've just got to test them all. But this is literally just your intro vid. Rinse and spin, self-explanatory, but you can change the amount of rinse times. Or you can just turn it off, which just does a spin cycle, which leads on to spin only. No washing or rinsing, just a spin only. Now, options for this, you've got off, delicate spin, low spin, mid spin, high spin, ultra spin. So you've got quite a few options on that. Ultra spin is an incredibly long spin at 900 RPM. The rest of it just seems to be times. So it won't spin as long on high, it won't spin as long on medium, it won't spin as long on low and delicate, etc, etc. We're not sure whether that adapts the spin speed or whether it still goes at 900 RPM, just changes the time. Not quite sure. Tub clean. Cleans the tub. Towels. Towel cycle. We're going to test that. We'll let you know how that goes. That'll be a film. Rainy wash. Now, this does an extra strong spin after the cycle to make sure that you are getting as much water out if you are hanging things out on a dull or rainy day. Obviously, you wouldn't be hanging things out in the rain, but it's just for dull, rainy days that things might take a bit longer to dry outside, or if you're using a tumble dryer. Excuse me. So it'll give it an extra strong spin. But we're going to test that and see how it goes. It only puts the spin as high. It doesn't put it on ultra automatically, which I thought it would, given the fact, that it's a strong spin apparently. But got to trust the logic. Oh, just on that, this is sort of a copycat cycle on Samsung. Samsungs have got a rainy day. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a similar cycle, like rainy day cycle. Rainy day, I think it's called. Cycle, which does an extra strong spin at the end on Samsung's. Full items is a cycle designed for if you're doing an absolutely full load or a really big blanket or duvet, I guess. Just something that requires a really strong wash and a really strong spin, because it does that. It does an intense wash with an intense spin. Right, we're back to the start, but that is not all, ladies and gentlemen. This has if you go into settings, we're going to go through settings. Sorry, Dexter, can we have less, please? Spielberg's on. Excuse me. Right, remote start. As is common with all like modern day machines now, you can control it through your phone if you choose to. You can go onto the LG app, connect it. It's not something I would do. I don't particularly see the use in it myself, but it's there if you want it. Now, the wash wave, you can select the wash wave for a normal wave, a delicate wave, or a strong wave. So delicate, normal, or strong. So that just adapts how intense the turbo wash action is and how many times it'll do a wave force, etc. It just intensifies that wash, or softens it if you want it on delicate. Delay end, you can do a delay start. Delay end, I mean. Soak, you can select a soak up to 180 minutes. Child lock, you can turn that on. We find that quite useful, especially if we're watching the machine, because just leaning forward with our fat guts will push these buttons. So I have accidentally turned the machine off without child lock on, so there you go. Program list edit. Okay, let's have a look at this. This is where you can add programs to your main list, or you can take programs off your main list. There are other cycles available other than what's on that list. So let's just go through them all really quickly just to give you the overview. So this is what your list is at the minute. Cotton, deep wash, AI wash, duvet, smart rinse, quick wash, eco cotton, delicate, stain care, allergy care, rinse and spin, spin only, and tub clean. Tub clean and cotton you cannot remove or add. It stays there all the time, so you can't take that off the main list. They're always there, cotton and tub clean. But you can add towels, rainy wash, full items. So this is the end of our list now that we've got selected. Now we go into the cycles that you can select. So you can do a pre-wash plus a cotton cycle. Sportswear, school care, colour care, silent wash, baby wear, a single item, sweat stains, jeans, wash only, where it will just wash and soak, rinse only, where it will just rinse and hold, and a quick tub clean. Obviously a less intensive tub clean than the other tub clean, but we will figure out what all these do in the fullness of time. But that's what your extra options are. I mean, these all do different things. Yeah, I mean, school care, I can't remember what Elliot said about school care. He did read it in the manual. Anyway, but yeah, there's just so many different cycles, more cycles than anybody would ever need, but it's nice to have the option, I suppose. But yeah, so that's how you edit your programs. And then it saves that. But along with the other settings, you've got your Wi-Fi connection, auto-arrange programs. I believe Samsung has something similar to this, where it takes all your, it basically watches you as you're doing your laundry and basically watches what cycles that you use regularly, watches what settings you use regularly, and it will start to shift those cycles and options towards the front of your queue when you turn your machine on, so that you don't have to scroll through too much. If you use a cycle all the time, if you use a certain amount of settings all the time, it will just automatically select that. That'll automatically come up. So if you use cotton, warm wash, mid spin, whatever, all the time, it'll put that to the front of the queue eventually. It does it if you select the same number of options about 3 times. I think Elliot said 3 or 5 times, something like that. If you use it the same time 3 times in a row, it will start to shove it towards the front of the queue, which is pretty handy if you are a creature of habit and don't explore too much with the wash cycles. I mean, we're going to go through them all and try them all eventually, so it'll take a while for this to figure out what we're using, because it'll be all over the place. Buzzer. That just controls the volume of your buzzer. Smart diagnosis, that is if you have an issue with the machine, it will start to run its smart diagnosis system where it will try and figure out what's wrong with it itself before you call a service technician or anything. I think you have to run this in conjunction with your Wi-Fi and your LG app and all that, so very handy to have though, and we will use it if we ever have problems with this machine. Reset settings, that takes everything back to the start, so that just resets it all to factory settings as it came from the factory. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think that's all. So let's just go back here. In terms of your water level, you've got an option, you've got 10 levels that you can choose from. 1, 2, 3. 10 options, or you can let it auto sense. The auto sense seems to be pretty accurate, so I'll probably just let it auto sense all the time. Now wash, you can have up to 25 minutes. But then you can also add soaks, etc. Whatever you want. You can have up to 5 rinses. 5 would be very excessive because this machine's rinse procedure is quite intense in terms of the fact that it does incredibly long interim spins. So its interim spins are fast, and they're about the cycle that I've used as far as a standard cotton cycle. It spun each interim spin for about 8 minutes. It was something extravagant like that. So yeah. Now if you just have a 1 rinse within the first interim spin, as is standard for a lot of LG's top loaders, it will utilize this spray here, and it will do a spray rinse just in that interim spin. It will slow right down, it will start to spray, and it will speed up as it's spraying. So it just gives them that initial spray rinse before it goes into its deep softener rinse. That's only if you've got 1 rinse selected though. If you've got 2 rinses selected or more, it will just do more deep rinses, as opposed to using the smart spray thingy. But yeah. Spin, as I said before, delicate, low, mid, high, ultra, and off. Or you can turn it off, whatever you want to do. Temperature, here we go. What are you doing now? Oh, I turned wash off, that's why. Temperature is just cold, warm, or hot. There's no in-betweenies on that. So that's all you got. Steam, you can add turbo clean to the cotton or the AI wash. That just minimizes everything. It'll minimize the wash, minimize the rinse, minimize the spin, minimize everything. It seems to keep the spin still quite long though. So if you've got a high spin, it will do a 20-minute final spin. If you've got an ultra spin, it'll do a 30-minute final spin or more. So it really likes to spin. Just looking at the tub and everything again. So we've got a really big metal pulsator down the bottom, which is nice. It's not plastic or anything. The lint filters, as I said, are intense. Like, they're big and chunky. They're going to drag out a lot of lint. And just the fact that they're a big, chunky, sticky, outy filter really helps with that exterior, like that, the edge of the tub's turbidity. So it just helps the whole wash in general. Your detergent dispenser, it's just a standard powder and softener dispenser. This didn't come with any kind of liquid insert, which would have been nice, but hey ho, maybe we can order it as a spare part, I'm not sure. See, my fat gut has just changed that cycle over, so yes, without child lock on, it really does. The colour for this is platinum black. That is the name of it. Obviously it's very shiny, very reflective, very fingerprinty. So, I think I'm going to have to buy some microfiber cloths just to have next to this machine, just because I will be constantly, and as you've seen while I've been doing it, I've been constantly wiping it down because it will just collect marks and things. Like, if you're using a white powder detergent, it collects around this quite, quite quickly. So you've just got to be mindful of that. That's the only downside, is that being such a nice reflective color, it will collect those fingerprints and everything. You've got a soft closing lid, which is really nice. And yeah, the whole machine is just really nice. Another thing to note as well, this machine is super quiet. What I didn't realise when we bought this machine is I didn't even think that it would have an inverter drain pump, which it does, which is common on the higher end models of front loader now. So instead of it being a big loud chuggy pump, it is just literally an inverter quiet pump. So all you hear really when it's draining is a little tiny noise from the pump and the sound of the water hitting the sink. That's all you hear. So that, as well as the quietness of the overall action of the machine, like they've really quietened down the whole agitation and the spin sound. That mixed in with the inverter drain pump just makes this machine super silent. Which is, you know, good when Elliot, Shakira Lover Forever, wants to come in at 2 o'clock in the morning and wash his work clothes. That's my bedroom wall. You know, it's nice if the machine's not horrendously loud, even though I sleep like the dead most nights anyway. But yeah, so that's your overview. Sorry it's been so long and talky, but I just wanted to give you guys an overview of the machine, just so that I wasn't trying to do it at the start of a wash video, so that you weren't trying to skip through all this blather to get to the wash. So, you know, next time it'll just be, this is what wash we're doing, here we go, start, and then you can see the cycle. But there you go. So very excited about this machine, love it so far. We've been super impressed, so very excited to share this with you. So have a good day, and we will see you for the first wash.